Hello everybody, this is Stan Brook here today with Masturbators, and we are today working with the Bomberos, and we have Christena Callahan here from Calgary, and she is the head person from Angels from Mexico. And we've been working on some projects here. Now if you want to read a little bit of past history, you can go out to Vallarta Bay Times. You'll be able to read how we met and kind of where everything started. So today we're going to focus on the latest projects, which are pretty exciting. So Christena, how are you?
Hey, Stan.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. It's a long time. It's like we haven't seen each other forever, right? Yeah, we're really good. So, the other day, we were actually with a group of people coming in from out of town, and we had, who do we have? We had Jalepa, we had Mascota.
Okay, we had Compostela, Vallarta, Tulsa, Gallitos, and
Mascota.
Five municipalities.
That's right. And the reason we all got together, I was invited. The reason we all got together is because you have a container full of stuff.
I do have a container full of stuff.
Coming down from the good people with the Firefighters with Borders, is that correct?
Firefighters Without Borders.
Firefighters Without Borders, and
Canada.
they're sending down enough equipment. I think I heard you say 130 bomberos. Bomberos is firefighters, in case y'all don't know, in Spanish.
Learn it. It's
And
important if you're down here. Yes, so this container is a 40-foot container, and it will support the 5 municipalities we discussed, and it will support 150 firefighters with duty gear, jaws of life, extrication stuff, hoses, stretchers, all that kind of stuff. Everything they don't have.
yeah, so everybody, but Puerto Vallarta doesn't have that much. I know they got a little bit because you've been working hard over the years for that. But
Yep.
areas like Mascota or Compostela or Talpa, sorry, I keep thinking Talia. Talpa, they basically have nothing.
Yeah, so the new chief of civil protection of Bomberos in Compostela is a friend of mine, Arturo Gomez, and yeah, he took office in October, and the outgoing chief took everything with him, so he has nada. And Mascota and Tulpa, Mascota we've helped in the past. Gallitos has a little bit, but Tulpa really at this point at the meeting Tuesday basically, told everybody there that this is such a blessing for them right now because they also have nothing, which is very frightening because they're up in the mountain.
So if they have nothing, with no hope of getting anything in the future, if something or somebody like you doesn't come into the picture.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That seems to be.
Well,
I just found out a couple of days ago that I got Puerto Vallarta to give some stuff to Compostela a few weeks before I came because they literally had nothing. So I said to the fire chief, if you want help, you need to show me that you're willing to give help. And they did. And it was decent. But driving up to meetings in Compostela on Friday, I found out that this is the first time in the history of Compostela that a donation has ever been given to them in the history.
So this is the first time anybody of any kind has donated anything to these poor people.
It shocked the heck out of me.
Well, that would be a big reason the mayor showed up for your meeting.
Yeah, that would be a very big reason.
She drove 2 hours one way just to be in the meeting by herself.
And Arturo, after fire chief.
And Arturo, that's right, Arturo.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it shocked me. Like, how is that possible? But because the people who were in that position, both El Presidente and the Jefe, prior to this, they just really maybe didn't care, didn't try.
Was it a priority?
Yeah, I mean, Arturo reached out to me right away.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't expect to be getting what we're getting in this container, so I'm really, really happy.
So people watching, Arturo was a very high position person here in the Puerto Vallarta Bomberos?
No, Arturo was a paramedic in Gallitos, and then he left about 3 years ago, just got frustrated with the lack of support and some other things. And then this new El Presidente hired him to be the chief of protection civil in Compostela, which told me that she's probably a good person because she hired a very honest man.
She's on the up and up. And she's looking to do good for people. That's very good news because I
Very
personally
good news.
I know all these guys. and I know them as wonderful people.
Yeah.
But the other things, we have some other things going on. We're going to be doing some training. I understand that the people in places like Compostela, if they don't have any equipment, they sure never had any kind of training.
Yeah, it's hard to
So let
train
me ask you a question, right? Does this mean that these people are risking their lives, going into burning buildings and these kind of things with no equipment whatsoever? And these are the people we're trying to help, because they're the good-hearted people, community service-oriented kind of thing, and they have nothing.
Well, I mean, Compostela had nothing, Tulsa had nothing, Divitos, Muskota, Vallarta had some, but, training they get very, very minimal.
Okay.
And anything past that, they have to pay for out of their pocket. And I'm not just, so they tell them they're in Vallarta. They're coming from Muskota. There's their lodging, they pay their gas, they have to pay meals, and when you're barely making enough to feed your family.
And we know they're not overpaid by any stretch of the
Not
imagination.
even close. It's hard to pay for that training. I mean, there are some of them who do it, absolutely. They were at that table on Tuesday. But it's just not a reality for most of them. So to have Firefighters Without Borders coming down to do a week's training for free is huge.
Yeah.
70 bomberos, and the ones who can't attend can then go out to the surrounding areas and train with what they can.
Yeah, back when I was in the corporate world, we would call that cascade training, where you would train one person, they would go train others, and if they learn well enough, they can actually train others. So it kind of really opens up. And now, the last training that I was at, I think we had, 20 people? Yeah. And this next one coming up right now is projected.
10 years ago, yeah.
10 years? That was 10 years? The new one is projected for having something in the neighborhood of 70 people?
Yeah, 70 to 80.
And that's coming from Compostela and...
From those 5 municipalities.
Wow.
So there's a team of 7 firefighters without borders, so 5 firefighters and 2 are paramedics.
So not only are they going to get the equipment, they're going to get the education to use that equipment correctly.
Yeah.
And not die in the process.
Yeah, and there's a family here in Puerto Vallarta, the Angelones. You met them?
And they're the fire extinguisher company with the property that we're going to be using.
Yeah, and they're letting us use their land for free. It has flashover buildings, has all the stuff that, we can light stuff on cars so they can be trained.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when Firefighters Without Borders goes to other countries, they might have a field training. They've never gone to another country like Guatemala or Chile or wherever and actually had a training facility. So they're pretty happy about what's happening here right now.
We're just about kissing close, huh? Okay, so let's get back to it. So we were talking about the training. Now, have you been working with these? You've been working with Firefighters Without Borders for some time now?
No.
Or is this kind of new?
No, this is very new.
So you're basically bringing it all together.
Well, I'm working with them. I don't say I'm bringing it all together, but yeah, no, when Aturo reached out to me, I just Googled them. I sent an email. I said, this is who I am. This is what we do. This is what's happening. And at that point, all I was asking was if any of your guys are flying into Puerto Vallarta and would bring a bag that has a couple of sets of duty gear and a helmet or something, until I can figure something else out, that would be great. That would be wonderful. And 2 days later, the president of Firefighters Without Borders called me and said, why haven't we worked together? Blah, blah, blah. This is what we do.
So they reached out to you?
No, I reached out to them with an email, and he called me.
I got it.
Personally.
I got it.
And and they told me what they do, how they fill these 40-foot containers. It's only the cost of cargo. And this one that we got, I didn't know that until about 2 weeks ago, because a country it was supposed to go to was kind of dicking them around, didn't want to pay for cargo. And so he called me and said, if you can pull this together, then, pay for the cargo costs, then you guys can have a container. And I'm knowing there were 6 sets of Jaws of Life in there.
6?
Yeah.
6 Jaws of Life?
Yeah. It's huge.
Wow.
It's huge.
Those are expensive.
And they're very expensive. And everything else that's in there, I'd already seen the inventory list. So I got some of my financial investors to cover the cost. And as we speak, it's on its way.
Beautiful.
to the Puerto Vallarta.
Now, you brought up fire trucks?
Well, I found out a few days ago that again, I'm not sure which country was supposed to get 4 fire trucks that are sitting in Vancouver. They were dicking around. They've been sitting there for too long. The guy in BC just said, you know, okay, I've spoken to him, other chapter of Firefighters Without Borders, and he called me on Thursday and said, okay, if you can pull this off and do the stuff, then you can have the trucks. And yeah.
So that's 4 fire trucks coming to Puerto Vallarta. Now, you were saying the other day that Puerto Vallarta had a few trucks. Those would be earmarked for other locations?
Yeah, so first of all, I have to give props again to Firefighters Without Borders because they are just such an amazing, well-oiled machine. But these fire trucks will actually be driven
Vallarta with anything. I mean, this is a commercial airport. This
Yeah.
isn't military. And somehow you have a military plane coming in with 4 full-size fire engines.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
This is magic. Well, again, Firefighters Without Borders offered them to me. Two will go to Compostela because they have nothing and they have such a huge area. One will go to Muskota, one will go to Tulpa. Puerto Vallarta said, no, we don't need anything. We have much more than they have, so it's okay.
That's very
Which
nice.
makes me happy. So Firefighters Without Borders has done this before. I've seen the pictures of the trucks in the belly of these planes. It's amazing. There's something called the Denton Project program, and they're registered with it. So it's them. So the trucks are driven across the border, I believe, into Seattle, and then they will fly wherever the donation is going. So for us, the most central point is Puerto Vallarta. So yes, there will be a U.S. Air Force, I forget the name of that big mother plane.
C-17, something like that?
There's something, I don't know, terrible stuff like that, but I know that we'll be on the tarmac when they roll off.
Great. So you just roll in the city, you're helping everybody right off the bat. That's absolutely amazing.
I think I'm done for this trip. I think that's all I've got.
Cool.